Hey, Sched guys. Hey, my name is Michael Wild and I work with Splunk. I want to show you kind of what we're doing. So, first of all, here inside of Splunk, if you've never seen it, it's this really cool machine data engine that just eats anything and organizes it by time. So in my situation, I have a bunch of data coming from a bunch of different sources. This by no means is all of Twitter. But this is all of Foursquare and a few terms searched on Twitter track. And we did a session the other day at South by Southwest where we were showing kind of some data and some cool stuff. So one of the things, if I, for example, were to just search on, anything here in Austin, so I might look at stuff that's Foursquare. As a matter of fact, I might look at a particular venue name. Okay, so we'll just search on that right now. And I can choose a time range, so let's just pick last 24 hours. And we're just indexing these events as they come in, or this machine data as it comes in. And in my case, I'm just going to go and retrieve it. Now, Splunk is retrieving this data, summarizing it, doing some other cool stuff. As we can see, there are a number of check-ins from Mohawk over the past 24 hours. I'm filtering on Mohawk just so we can, for this particular use case. Now, if you notice, there's, it's pretty simple. JSON event, pretty descriptive. Of course, Splunk will actually, if I click field discovery, it'll turn all the fields into actual fields over here versus the ones that are there. Now, it'd be kind of cool if I could add in the good old Sched event in here. Okay, so how is that done? It's pretty simple. But I create what's called a lookup inside of Splunk in the manager interface. I can tell it it's a file-based lookup, or should it be an actual external script? In your case, I could dump it once a day, and that's fine. I don't really need to hit your API like 1,000 times to figure this out. And so I basically said the name of the time field, okay, because this is going to be a time-based lookup, because obviously at Mohawk, there are several different bands that play, as you know. So we look at your own set of fields here. Event start is a fairly good field to focus on for if a person is there right now and it's greater than the time that the event start was, boom, there you go. Okay. And then what's the format of the time in your field? No problem. Got that. And then, of course, if I go back to Splunk, I can have this happen automatically, but I'm going to go ahead and just do it manually. So I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to copy this in here. And in Splunk, I'm going to say, I'll read this to you in a second. I'm piping it to lookup. I gave it a name called get events, because that's what it was called over here, get events. And I need your field. I need to send your CSV your field name. So your field is called FSQ venue ID. But in Foursquare's JSON event, it's actually called checkin.venue.id because it's this JSON event. So I'm sort of renaming it. And then I've told Splunk output new. All right, so just output some brand new information. And your field is called name, but I want to call it event name. As a matter of fact, if I wanted to add another field in there, let's say audience. Okay, I could put that in there. So now Splunk is going to take for every event, it's going to resolve in that CSV. And it's going to add in the audience and the event name for every single event that's here. Okay, I'm sorry to overuse the word event. So as we can see, Pitchfork Day Party is right there. And of course, there's Pitchfork Day Party again. But wait a second, is it a duplicate of data? No, it actually isn't. Because if we look at the event name, over the past 24 hours, there were several different bands that have played over time. As a matter of fact, if I wanted to do, let's say, event name, we'll do a time chart, top values by time. And we can actually see over time the number of people that were watching each particular band at Mohawk. Cool, and there you go. So it's working through it. Other is really anything that's statistically insignificant. But we can see at this particular venue, Mohawk, Hindi Zahara was the most popular and had the most audience, at least that were willing to check in. So it's really interesting use case, and it's pretty awesome that you guys expose some of your data. So that's kind of what we're doing. There's a lot of way interesting stuff going on here. Let's get rid of checkin.venue name. And then let's look over the last 24 hours. and find out who the most popular act was. So let's just do top event name. And there you go. This is the top attended artists or events at South by Southwest in the past 24 hours by those people who have chosen to check in on Foursquare. So, who's number one actually? Safe Harbor Room. Interesting. Looks like it's pretty even here, and we could actually get a little bit better view if we take this and turn it into, let's say, a column chart, maybe a bar chart. It'd be easier to see. So Safe Harbor Room followed by Hindi Zahara. Pretty cool, hey? Awesome.